Right, okay. I know you can't see my face, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm going to just give you some instructions anyone how to do this breakfast. It's nice and simple. It's not really a cooking video or anything like that. It's more of a vlog of what I eat. You know, it's good for anyone looking to bulk up. Well, bulk up or gain a little bit of muscle. I'll go through the bulking up crap in a bit. But what you're going to do is get everything ready. You know, get your jug, get your eggs out, get your pan nice and hot. That's another thing I've forgotten. A little bit of spray oil. It's only 1 calorie per spray, so it's not the fattiest oil. Put that in your pan. Make sure your pan's nice and hot ready. So take 2 decent sized eggs, crack them into your jug, the whole thing, white and yolk, for 2 eggs. Right, now after that, you're just going to use egg whites now. Okay, you may have noticed that some things have shifted around, it's jumped a little bit. I did have a little bit of a blooper, so I had to restart it, I guess you could say. So far we've got the 2 whole eggs in there, cracked them open, put the 2 whole eggs in. Now we're going to go for 4 egg whites now. You can get egg whites out of the shells many different ways. I just find it easy enough to just put a small hole in, open the eggshell up, just let the white drain out. If you can't get all the white out, just sift the yolk between the 2 eggshells, and the white should just drop out between the cracks. Another easy way of doing it as well is cracking the shell, open it into your hand and let the yolk sit in your fingers, and then the white will drip out underneath your fingers. That's an easy way of doing it. So that's 3 eggs in there now, 2 whole eggs, 1 egg white. This will be the 3rd egg. So I'm going to go for 2 more egg whites now. Alright, last one. Just be careful when you're cracking the eggs, you don't want to have eggshells in there and stuff. It's fairly simple, it's not a complicated thing. But you know, I know many of the people that might be watching this, you know, might be the age of 16, 15, something like that, and probably live with their mum and dad. Just be careful when you're doing it. It takes a bit of practice. Eggs are a bit of a finicky thing. There's about 50 grams of protein in there. You've got your good fats in there as well with the egg yolks and stuff, but you haven't got too many fats because of the egg whites. You've skipped a lot of egg yolks. So 6 eggs in total, 2 whole eggs, and then 4 egg whites. Mix it up with a fork so it's all run together. Put my pan back on the heat, I took it off before. But you want a nice hot pan, so when you put it on, you should hear that hissing sound. You watch now, I'll put it on there and it won't do it. It's going to spam. Yeah, but when you mix them together, it should go like a cloudy, weird colour like that, you know. This isn't going to... Tip it all in there. Just check if you can see that there. Yeah. Tip it all in there. What you'll probably see is if you've got a large enough frying pan, like I've only got a small hob and a small frying pan, so it's pretty much the underside will cook first and you'll still have all the runniness on the top. So if you can see like it's cooking around the edges, but it's still in the top, it's still liquidy. What I like to do is just push down the edge where it's gone white, push them down into the middle. You're going to have to wait now maybe about 3 minutes. And then once the bottom's cooked, you should be able to get your spatula underneath and just flip it over. Then once that's done, all the liquid will seep out and start to cook itself. Just go and grab some cheese while that's doing. Okay, so this is an optional thing. If you like, if you like a bit of cheese and stuff, if you think eggs are too bland, just throw a bit of cheese in the middle. Remember, this is the first meal of the day, so you can go, a bit more over the top than you would with other meals, because it's your breakfast, it's your breaking your fast, aren't you? You've been fasting all night, and this is what you do to break it, so it should be the most calorific meal of the day. So adding cheese isn't that much of a bad thing. Because it's got so many eggs in it, it's actually a massive omelette. I don't know if you ever go to the Chinese and you order, I don't know, king prawn omelette or something like that. It always comes in a big thick omelette like that. This is kind of what we're going for now. We're not going to go for one of the little thin chef, poncy little omelettes. It's all going to seep out everywhere. It's going to look ugly, but it's going to be alright. It's going to taste good. It's going to have a lot of protein in there. A lot of people they can cook omelettes really fast, but that's because they're only using a couple of eggs. There's 6 eggs in here, so it's going to take a while to cook. Just be patient. If it's starting to go solid, then you're doing alright. If you're a little bit impatient like me, and since I'm making a video as well, just get all that liquidy stuff exposed to the bottom of the pan so that it cooks quicker. As soon as it hits that hot pan, it'll start cooking. But because when you've got so much egg and you've got the stuff that's cooked, and then the uncooked stuff sits on top of the cooked egg, so if you swirl it around a little bit and get that uncooked egg exposed to the bottom of the frying pan, it'll cook a lot quicker. But once the bottom's nice and solid, what I do is just to save time, flip it over again. Get all that uncooked egg exposed to the bottom of the frying pan. Last thing you want is raw eggs. A lot of people say, oh, you don't you like Rocky? You get salmon out that way. Well, I suppose you can have raw eggs, but I think the trick of having raw eggs is not to break the yolk in your mouth. And I don't know, it's playing a risky game for me. I like to cook all my food. I've done nutrition, it is best to cook your food, trust me. So I'm going to flip this over one more time. I'd say if you've got a hob, say have it on a medium to high heat. I've done it on a different hob this morning because the camera couldn't see this one. I haven't got anywhere to put my camera. So it has been a little bit hot. I don't claim to be a chef or anything, but it's going to taste alright. It's all good, but just at home when you're doing it, have it at medium high heat. So I would say that is about done. Take it off the heat. Get my plate. And there you have it. One big massive omelette for breakfast. Well, that's got a lot of protein. I think I said it had about 50 grams of protein in. It's got your good fats in there as well. Good fats are essential when you're trying to build muscle. Carbohydrates, hasn't got many carbohydrates, but what you can do is what I usually do if I'm going to work out in the morning. I'll put some beans on there, baked beans. But just try when you buy baked beans, if you live on your own or you live with your mum or your parents, just try and get them to buy the beans with the least amount of sugar in there. If you look on the carbohydrates and the which sugars, it should have a very low amount because it's the tomato sauce that contains all the sugar. But baked beans on their own are a good source of carbohydrates and protein and fibre. So if you're looking to add carbohydrates to this, definitely go with beans. But apart from that, there's your omelette. Hope it was alright. I hope you enjoy it.